Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Nikki Zick, and today we're going to be using watercolor crayons and watercolor paints to come up with this lovely postcard that I did with flowers, clusters, and some leaves, all in watercolor and watercolor crayons. The crayons that I used are a new set that I just purchased from Amazon called Sargent Watercolor Crayons. And I've never used this brand, but there's 36 colors, which is enough to choose from. And I already selected the 4 that I'm using for this postcard. So let's get started. So first we're going to do the center blue flower. We want our paint to be very watery, and so it's transparent when we paint. So here's one. We're doing a 5-petal flower. And if you have to add more water to your paint to make it transparent, then do so. Leave the center open so we can add yellow and orange later after we finish the petals. Another one here. And one more. The largest flower I had in the card was this center blue, but we'll see if the layout changes. Now we're going to use our ultramarine blue crayon while the paint is wet and go around each petal while it's wet and you're painting in with the crayon. And this is the way I like to use them. Other artists may use them in a different manner, but I find this way is a nice technique, so I wanted to share it with you all. So here's our first flower using the watercolor and the crayon while it's wet. Okay, then I'm going to add, well, I'll do the centers after all the flowers. So then we'll add a pink flower in the upper right corner. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. Again, it's a 5-petal flower. All the flowers on this card will be the same 5 petals. And here's one more. And another one here. Okay. And then I'm using a red pink crayon to do the edge, go around these petals. Each petal will have a few veins, and around the edge, go in the center, around the edge, the center and around the edge, and the center and around the edge. Next we'll do our purple flower. We'll jump around a little, we'll go on the left side, and I'm using a red violet. And we'll make one petal here, second petal here. Make the petals nice and wide, and please remember to make them transparent. It's a little too much paint here as I'm saying it. And try to leave the center for your yellow and orange. You can make it hide behind the blue, like I did in the original. Now we have our violet crayon, and we'll go around the edge, same idea as the others. Around the edge. And you can see the crayon melts into the paint as you're drawing. I hope you can see that on camera. And you see the color of the crayon is just melting into the paint. Okay, we'll do all our flower. Actually, we'll do some leaves now. I have a nice, bright, brilliant green. I'll do a leaf coming from here. Got a little monstrous. Do a leaf top. Leaf over here. A little more green. Okay, now we have our, what color is this? Grass green. We're going to go the edge down the center. The edge down the center. The edge of the leaf and down the center. You could add some diagonal veins. Give it a little more detail once the paint's a little bit drier so it won't bleed that much. Add a leaf over here. My paint's getting a little too thick for me. Water it down. Give the pink flower a leaf. Take some paint from there. Leaf here. Maybe a leaf coming off the page there. One down here. I like to have a balance of leaves to flowers. We'll go on the edge. I like to use the crayon from the edge so that way I have more control over it, and I use it close to the point, to the end. That way I don't break it and I have more control. Okay, now we'll add some more flowers to the background. We'll put a nice pink one right here. Okay. Leave room for the center, if there's enough room for it to show. Yeah, I think we do. We have enough room. Now we'll go in with our red crayon. And the red pops off the pink very nicely. Gives some more details to the petals. Okay. Now we'll add a purple flower here. And the red violet. It's a little heavy right now. Line it up. Okay. Now we'll have a violet crayon. And it's really a nice feeling, interesting feeling to be drawing with the crayon and the wet paint. It's a different, unique, extreme feeling. Very different. I like it. We'll add a blue flower down here. Maybe just a few petals peeking out. Get the blue crayon. Give it the details. Okay. Then we'll add a violet flower up here. Way too much paint. Because if you have too much paint, you will definitely not see the crown showing. Okay. Do some crayon. And let's see. I think I'm going to add, I'm getting back into the leaves. Leaf over here. My green is kind of heavy. Add a leaf over here. Use some of the green paint from this. Blot it up. And if these leaves are too heavy, you can always remove some paint and draw your lines back in. Outline and then the vein, and then some tiny details. And lastly, we'll put a flower in the corner here, coming off the page of blue. See another area I'd like to put a leaf. First we'll do our blue crayon, since we painted that first. Then we'll go into our green. Okay. Now let's see, I think the composition is good. So I'll pick up my yellow for the center and orange crayons. And I think it's going to work out better for me when it's dry, because when I was doing it when it was wet, it's turning to mud. So right now I'm putting yellow and then orange around the yellow. Some flowers like the purple, I'll just put plain yellow. And for the pink flowers, I'll do the same yellow center with orange going around. Okay, now we'll get our wet paintbrush, and now we want our paintbrush to be only damp, because we're just patting the color. We're not painting it. We're just patting the centers so that it gets the water into the crayon and starts it to melt. The purple flower. Okay, and there you have it. Postcard using mixed media, watercolor paints and crayons, water-soluble crayons. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. I had a fun time doing this video. I hope you try it at home. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.